Welcome to Tigray Television. I'm Mary Nimano. I'll be reading the news for you today. Stay tuned. Pensioners in Mala say that they haven't received their pensions for the last 2 years, and they asked for the federal government to allow them access to their pensions like other Ethiopians. Kohogesh has more.
Haile Selassie Hagos, now 83 years old, served the Ethiopian army for 33 years until 1991. After this, he used to lead life with his monthly pension, but he said he couldn't feed the 8 family members he looks after for the last 2 years.
We
have lived 4 years of terror and suffering. Now there is peace. We need to have our pensions as soon as possible before we are dead. Who are they going to give it if we are all dead?
Likewise, Halafon Berher told us that he served the Ethiopian Airlines for 28 years. He says he hasn't got what he deserved as compared to what he did.
As Ethiopians, we have served this country, but the country we dedicated our entire life is not treated as right for the past 2 years. We are suffering from hunger and sickness. We cannot work because we are weak. My body is failing me. So, putting this into consideration, the federal government should give us our pensions.
Another pensioner who is suffering from diabetes and hypertension, Berha Gabrahiwat, said that he served the Bureau of Trade and Industry for 37 years, but he can't take care of his 5 family members.
We as elderly don't really have much of a time left, so not taking care of us is a sin.
These elderlies who have served the people in this country for more than 30 years are asking the federal government for their rights to be respected.
The federal government got to see us and solve our problems right away. Only the federal government can solve our problems. We are under the administration of the federal government, not the regional government.
Putting the problems we have into consideration, the federal government has to give us our pensions, and we have to be served first.
Head of the Bureau of Social Security of Northern Branch, Siyu Maskodum, said there are efforts to solve the problem.
We are communicating on a daily basis with them. We talk about the conditions and they said the pensioners will be paid in full, including the increments, after the National Bank starts giving services.
Mala University employees say that they're leading a miserable life, and some members have even died due to hunger. They said that their salaries have been halted for about 20 months now since June 2021. The employees asked for the concerned bodies to help the institution back to its previous status so that they could work and earn their salaries accordingly. Mahari Tadjasa reports.
Mogos Ayela, who works in Maqala University, says that he used to lead his and his family's life depending on the monthly payment. But now he speaks his families are at risk since he has been left out of salary for about 2 years now. He also added that many others are employed.
I've
been working here for a long time as a security guard. I used to lead my life with a monthly payment, but now my family's life is at risk because I am out of salary for more than 20 months now due to the war.
Mogos also speaks that large number of people were working in Maqala University and used to lead a good life before the war broke out. However, now all the staff members are traumatized since everything in the institution is closed.
All staff members in this institution used to lead a good life, but after the war broke out, we are forced to lead dreadful life as we couldn't get our salaries for about 20 months.
Another staff member, Dr. Mu'az Haddish, who teaches economics in the university, says the discontinuation of salary for about 20 months has forced civil servants in Maqala University to lead miserable life for more than 20 months like other Tigrayans.
staff members or mainly as civil servants mainly depends on their sources on the salary income. They don't have other alternative sources of income as you normally know actually. So the other sources of life had been very difficult to get more income since all the businesses in Tigray has shut down, and the other sources had remittances from abroad, but the remittances could not also come easily into Tigray unless otherwise you pay a commission. So the money you get from friends or from relatives from abroad should be also commissioned, and then the commission, the amount is also lower than what you expect.
Dr. Mu'az also speaks that Maqale University belongs to the federal government and every staff member serves the institution, but he says every course of action was collapsed after June 2021. He added that 50% of office equipment, laboratory machines, books in Qalamino and Meles campuses are whether looted or damaged. According to Dr. Mu'az, the institution could not provide services for more than 20 months now, and says some of his colleagues have lost their lives and others are engaged in a small business, while others were forced to flee to other areas.
As you said, this institution belongs to the federal government, not to the regional government actually. So the services we provide were more or less teaching and learning program, and we also conduct scientific annual researches. We also conduct publication. We also offer community services like short-term training and consultancy services. Beyond that, there have been a number of programs and projects that support the local community in Tigray as well as an Ethiopian community actually. So all the services that have been offered by this institution has been stopped and interrupted, particularly since the war broke out. I can say that the institution which belongs to the federal institution itself have totally destroyed or collapsed and stopped its services. Most of the machineries, most of the office equipment in some of the campuses, like I think Calamino campus and Ukiha campus, are more or less, I think, like more than 50 or more than 60% damaged. The staff members, some of them, they have died, they have lost their lives. I know my colleagues have died, and then
Dr. Mu'az also calls the concerned ones to play their role in restoring the university into its previous services, to withdraw non-ENDF forces from Tigray and work with full integrity on the clarity and immediate implementation of the peace agreement signed in Pretoria.
That's why we came into this agreement, since the problem is very clear and it has been common and normal for anyone. So we have entered into this peace agreement actually, and then I think the main thing is that we have to implement in the way that this agreement is contextualized. Activities left by the federal government to be done mainly in our side. The university should be restored by now. It should be assessed by now whether it can still continue in the way that it had been, or whether there should be any clarity and clear communication between the two negotiating parties actually.
The universities in Tigray have been out of services for about 2 years. In addition, the situation and the whereabouts of their staff and students yet remain unknown.
Administrator of Saharti district Zamikil Toldamedhin said that the people in the locality are under immense problems because of the delay of the resumption of services and sluggish humanitarian aids. The administrator added that the peace agreement reached was supposed to ease the problems facing the people, but says it has brought nothing to the people in the district so far. Let's take a look at the details.
People in Saharti district are among the millions of Tigrayan facing the socio-economic problems due to the war on Tigray. The people in Saharti district hoped that the peace agreement reached in Pretoria and Nairobi by the Tigray and federal governments would ease the problem they are facing. But they said the agreement has brought nothing to the people of Saharti, mentioning that the service and humanitarian aids are still closed.
راديوس بحال ما ينصع عقون بقى عنده زي مطيه يبالي لا على حرس بصنا قريه مثلا.
Banks are still closed. We hear that aid is coming, but it is incomparable with the need of the people here. It's not enough. Transportation is another big problem. There is no transportation because there is no fuel. We need quick solutions for our problems. Services are not resumed yet.
There is no food to eat. We're facing big problems. We're starved. People are spending days and nights empty-bellied. We have nothing to eat. We demand food.
ኣብ ከባቢና ግን ህንደይ ሕዋትና ህንደይ ሽማግለታት ህንደይ ህፃውንቲ ብጥምየት እጋሮም ስሒሎም መልዕሊ ስኢኖም እዮም
Our elderlies, our children, our brothers and sisters are suffering from hunger. Banks are still closed. We only have telecommunication access. But now we need our money from banks. People are dying with their money in the banks. We didn't get any aid.
The people from Saharti also stated that the Eritrean and Amhara Fano are still committing atrocities in a place under their control. They also pleaded that the federal government must withdraw the Eritrean and Amhara Fano from Tigray according to the peace agreement.
ሻዕብያ ብስሩ እውን የገርመና እዩ ሰላም እዚ ክሳብ ዝኸዚ ሕዝቦ ከፊልነስ እንታይ እዩ
We still wonder why the Eritrean forces are still here in Tigray. What is the federal government doing? What is the federal government waiting for? It is called peace agreement, but many of our people are still in problems. Our people are still in grief.
ናይ ሻዕብያ በደል ናይ ፋኖ በደሊ የግፍዕና ለክ ሻዕሉ ማዓንቲ የግፍዕለ እዩ
The Eritrean and Amhara forces are still killing civilians. They are still looting, torturing, and harassing people around Adwa, Aksum, Shura, and Shararo. The Eritrean and Amhara forces must withdraw from Tigray, and our people must live in peace.
ወጽልና ኣለዎ
The Eritrean and Amhara forces must withdraw from our place. If the people of Tigray should live in peace, the Eritrean and Amhara forces must withdraw from Tigray.
Administrator of Saharti district Zemikael Toldemedhin said that the people in Saharti are under immense problem. Zemikael added that humanitarian aid should enter according to the peace agreement.
ባንኪ ልዕሊ ህዚ ህዝብና ከቢድ ሕቶ ዘልዕል ዘሎ እዩ ካልእቲ ናይ ሰብኣዊ ሓገዝ እውን ተበጻሓይ ምዃን ዓብዪ ክፍተት ኣሎ
Resumption of banking service is what our people are still asking for. There is a huge gap between the humanitarian aid trickling and the demand here. Distribution of the available aid is also another problem due to the absence of transportation. It took us more than 2 months to take the aid to the distribution zones. The aid coming to our place is incomparable with the need of the people here. The people who got the aid and those who did not are both in starvation.
Wagagan Bank Romanat branch manager Kidane Mane says the bank is not able to provide full service due to shortage of sufficient monetary flow. He underscored that the lasting solution for the poor cash flow in the banks comes when the federal government opens all banks.
Wagagan Bank branch manager Kidane Mane says the real solution for the poor monetary flow in Tigray comes when the federal government opens all banks.
Wagagan Bank has been trying to give services ever since the situation occurred in Tigray, even though it was not enough. Almost all the banks in Tigray were trying to give service despite the problems. After the peace agreement between the federal government and the Tigray regional government, we thought about helping the people. So we started with 1,500 birr and increased to 1,000 and 5,000. But now it decreased to 1,000 again. We think this is not sufficient. The real solution comes when the federal government opens all banks.
Resident in the city, Brahana Bekele also says he's facing problems due to shortage of cash and says the federal government should have provided more cash.
I came here to withdraw money. I would say that this is definitely better than how it was before, although it isn't sufficient considering the number of clients. It at least helps us solve our urgent problems. We are told that there is no cash, but according to the peace deal, the federal government should have provided cash. They are offering service with difficulties because there is no cash. I say that cash must flow in. The service is running. However, the main problem is that there is no cash.
Wagagan resumed its services in Tigray on the 2nd of January, but the bank and other banks in Tigray are not delivering full service and millions are suffering on a daily basis.
At our hospital, employees say that they're in dire situation as they have not received their salaries for more than 2 years. They said this while receiving aid donated by Ellen Shinoda and his families. Abid Gabu has more. Earlier today, Eider Hospital employees say that they're in desperate situation even after the signing of the peace deal. They say that they've not received their salaries for more than 2 years. They told us this as we visited the hospital to document donations made by the Australian Alan Shinoda and his family members.
We had no salary and still we are not getting any salary, any payments, any transportation. Our staff is in a very difficult situation.
We are really thankful. It's bad time. I thank the donors and people who facilitated this.
Health professionals of Eider Comprehensive Specialized Hospital, they have been passing through in horrific situations. It is really a nightmare. They have been working without salary for more than 20 months. So it is very difficult working without salary, not only without salary, they are also working with the affected people. They came from 4 corners of Tigray who suffered by the hunger, the airstrike, other bombings. So it is really, our staff is really passing through the horrible times.
We were in a bad situation for the past 2 years. We have not received our salaries due to the war.
Ellen supported $20,000. Of this, 1/3 of it was donated to Eider Hospital employees. The employees thanked Ellen and his family for the support and called on to extend their efforts to help the many others in desperate need.
So I'm just here. I'm honored to thank you for Alan Shinoda and his families who send the support for our staff. As you know, we hope also to continue his support in terms of financial and other supports for the staffs, the health professionals who are just serving their community without any support.
We were in a hard situation. We were not paid for 2 years, but we were serving the community.
Teacher Mulu Haileslasi also we are very thankful for him. So, and as we all know, we are in a very difficult situation. So I think we hope Elso's support will continue.
ዝሓገዝ ደምፁልና ደሎ ብጣዕሚ ነመስግን ነዚ ናይ ወጻእተኛ ዝሰደደልና ዝሰዱልና ደሎ ከዓ
I thank those who brought up the money. I also thank the donator. We have received 2,000 Ethiopian birr each.
We've also met Mulu Haileslasi, who facilitated the donation program in Eider Hospital. We asked him why Eider was the focus area.
To support some staffs. So today we are supporting 400,000 Ethiopian birr to 200 Eider staffs. This donation is coming from Australia, from Mr. Alan Shinoda and his families. So thank you very much to Mr. Alan Shinoda and families for Tigray communities around Mr. Alan Shinoda. And also special thanks for all Tigray diasporas. Special also, I would like to thank to Mr. Elias, who is supporting to deliver this money to us.
Mulu and the employees have also thanked Tigrayan diaspora community in Sydney for their efforts in convincing such donations. That ends our news for the hour. Thank you for tuning in.